All right, what did I get myself into? Good Lord. How you guys doing tonight? I am still trying to finish up getting this stuff posted online. Good Lord, it takes forever. But man, oh man, what did I get myself into by doing these post shows, man? Jesus. So now I don't have an excuse. I gotta sit here and watch these shows every night. I gotta watch the whole thing. I can't dip out. So man, tonight's show was brutal to say the least. Absolutely brutal. Ashton, thank you for being the first one here. Hope you guys had a great night. WWE's booking at its finest. Sick of Vince and the creative team, so garbage, says Joshua. Yeah, man, it's brutal, man. But he says, hey, yo, what's good? How are you doing? I'm doing great, man. Oh, today was amazing. 2 pairs of my Yeezy 350 V2 breads showed up today. Showed up a day early, so I'm excited about that. My other ones from Adidas have been delayed, but always a good day when shoes show up in the mail. I love it. The good parts tonight was Roman, KO, Jey Uso, and Bianca Belair. Yep. I can only make Friday post shows though. No worries, Ashton. Thank you. I appreciate it. And everything is also saved as a VOD afterwards, so you can always go back and watch them later if you wanted to. No big deal. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. You gonna watch Final Battle? I don't think so. No, I don't think I'm gonna watch Final Battle. Glad I get to watch these 3 times a week. I'm glad that you tune in 3 times a week. I really appreciate it. I like a lot. I really appreciate it a lot. I can't thank you guys enough. And actually, before we even get started with the show, I wanted to take a second to thank you guys, because this is my 5th show now for doing the post show reviews. sitting at 547 subscribers. So, man, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. And not only that, but more importantly, sitting at 360 hours of watch time. That's absolutely insane. I cannot believe that you guys have watched me talk about wrestling for almost 400 hours in just a little over a week. That's absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And we are just getting started here. There's a lot more stuff to come, especially next week. I have a couple other things up my sleeve that hopefully I'll be working on this weekend and we'll have ready for next week. So it'll be a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. Are you going to watch Triple Mania? I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Is that the AAA thing? If so, probably not. No. Was contemplating quitting the show tonight and just playing on my new PS5, but somehow I dragged myself through it. Man, that's a tough battle. I definitely would have fallen to the PS5. Absolutely. Jaden says nearly at 600. Yeah, man, we're getting there. Super close. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been awesome to kind of shift and do something a little bit different normally than just kind of post on Instagram. So kind of nice. I do have a lot of exciting things planned for this. Especially, you know, if I make it to the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to get monetization, it's going to be good, man. I'll be able to focus on this a lot more. And I do want to buy a camera and do face cam stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, man. We have a lot of stuff to look forward to. I have a couple other ideas for shows to do. They won't be live, but it will be fun nonetheless. So anyways, let's go ahead and get a quick rundown of the show here tonight. Tonight's episode of Friday Night Blue Raw, we had a contract signing between Carmella and Sasha Banks, Montez Ford versus Dolph Ziggler, Big E versus Sami Zayn, Bianca Belair versus, not Bianca Belair versus, we had a Bianca Belair and Bayley segment, Kevin Owens promo. Then after that, we had a Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens beatdown backstage, which was fantastic. The Riot Squad versus Billie Kay and Natalya, Chad Gable and Otis versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. They also announced that next week's episode of SmackDown will be airing on FS1. I'm not quite sure why, but I believe it's a college basketball game that's taking over the slot. Anyways, advertised for that show, we have the Street Profits versus everyone's favorite uncles, Uncle Ziggy and Uncle Rob, in a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. And we also will be seeing Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Very interesting that they did not save those for TLC since it's just 2 days away. And then we had our main event, Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Absolutely insane. So for all of you here, I would really like to stay on topic tonight and get through the show as fast as we possibly can. Not necessarily as fast, I guess, but just focus on that ahead. And then when we get done, we'll focus on some other stuff and talk about some other things. Maybe we will talk some shit about Goldberg. Maybe we will talk a little bit about WWE's poor booking decisions and how this show sucks. And also about their tag team division, about why it makes absolutely no sense. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Oh, yeah. And as Obi James noted, I love the new Thunderdome at Tropicana Field. It looks exactly the same. Yeah. So if you didn't notice, last week's episode of Raw was the last episode in the Amway Center with that Thunderdome. So now they are in the Tropicana venue, and they brought the Thunderdome there, and I was expecting a little bit of changes, but they didn't change absolutely anything. It's the same old set. I don't think you would ever even notice that they changed it if they didn't tell you. So it kind of sucks. Do you hate Goldberg? I don't really hate anyone, but I'll talk about it a little bit more if we can stay on track and get through this, because I do feel like that needs to be talked about a little bit. So, all right, let's go ahead and get on with this. The opening segment of the show, we had a contract signing between Carmella and Sasha Banks. Now, this was a little odd for a contract signing. Sasha Banks went to go sign the contract, but guess what? There was no contract to be signed in the little binder. So This is the first time that we have seen everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure, Adam Pearce, back on WWE TV after calling Drew McInfarts as well. And this man's couldn't even check the binder for the contract when he wasted everyone's time bringing it down to the ring. So I thought that was a pretty weird thing to do. It's, I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird to have an authority figure bring out a contract signing just to not have the contract there. Yeah, contract signings are so stupid. Yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand them. I get why they do them, to kind of build up a little hype segment, to kind of build up the matches and do all of that stuff. But I mean, and I guess the other thing about it too is that you do them so much that, like, of course they're going to run dry. So you're going to have to come up with other ways to do things. I don't know. I guess this was just an interesting way to do it. I don't know. Somehow Carmella or her little champagne boy, I can't remember what she called him. They slipped the contract away and ended up signing it backstage for some reason, only just to have him bring it back out. I don't know why they didn't just say, like, hey, I signed this in advance. If she didn't want to come out, would have made more sense, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand what they do these days. The authority figure has no authority. Yeah, I don't quite understand what they're doing with Adam Pearce. He seems to kind of act like he's the general manager, but at the same time, they don't call him a general manager. They just call him a WWE official. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. They call their referees that, don't they? They call their referees WWE officials, don't they? So, like, I don't understand quite where they're drawing the line here. I really wish they would just be like, hey, Adam Pearce is the GM, or they don't even have to call him a general manager necessarily. Just be like, hey, he's the authority figure. Like, he's the dude that's going to be overseeing everything that happens on Monday and Friday. He's going to be the one booking the matches. And if you have any issues, go to Adam Pearce. I know what I just described is essentially a general manager or like a WWE GM. But if they don't want to call it that, just please, for the love of God, just give us a way around it. Maddie says Goldberg versus Roman does not need a title if Owen gets it and Murphy and Big E get the IC title. We could have Owens and Zayn at Mania for the title. Yeah, we can go over that. We can go over that at the end of the show. Like I was saying tonight, I kind of want to stick to the point, get through the SmackDown review, and then we'll go ahead and talk about some other things, whatever you guys want. On-screen personnel, is that what they call referees, or that just other people? Looks like GM is a new banned word. That might actually be the case. They're very weird about stuff like that, banned words. It's just because Vince doesn't like them. So I don't know. That could very well possibly be the thing. But that's why I was saying, like, just tell us. Just can someone just acknowledge that that's essentially what he is? Ashton says TF is a GM. The GM, if you didn't see the older days of Raw and SmackDown, it's a general manager, and it was essentially just the person that oversaw everything for the show. So they'd book the matches. If you had any issues there, that's who you would go to. They'd be the problem solvers. They'd be the face that essentially just ran the show. So kind of like a normal general manager would be for a store. You know, you would have Vince McMahon as your owner. He would own the entire WWE company, right, in its entirety. I know it was a joke. Should have put, oh, my bad. Well, anyways, if you don't know, Vince McMahon would be like the owner of the company, right? He would do everything, but of course he's not going to work. So your stores would be Raw and SmackDown, and you would have someone that would oversee everything that happened at those stores, Raw and SmackDown. So sorry, but no, you're good. You're good. I'm sure there's some people that don't know. So more information is more information. How long has it been since we've seen Aleister Black? I have absolutely no clue. It's been a while though. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I remember the good old days when Kurt Angle was Raw GM. Yeah, it seems like forever ago, right? What a time that was in WWE. And I love how he could never speak. Like he called Stephanie McMahon, and he called WWE, or he could never really say WWE properly. So it was always a good time. So yeah, anyways, with this contract signing between Carmella and Sasha Banks, kind of anticlimactic, if you will. And it not only ended with them signing the contract for TLC, but apparently they were going to just throw down on a match in the main event of SmackDown tonight. Sasha Banks laid out the challenge, pretty much saying that she works on her own terms, and she would defend her SmackDown Women's Championship against Carmella on the main event tonight. So it was made official, and that was the main event, giving away a match a week before a pay-per-view when they've done so well on building up this feud and debuting everything for Carmella. We haven't seen her entrance, we haven't seen her music or anything like that, so it would have been a really good reveal just to have at the pay-per-view, and they just gave it away for no reason. I don't understand why. They could have just waited a week and 2 days. They could have just had the contract signing tonight and called it a night. Their match only ended up being like, what, 14 minutes or something like that? So it wouldn't, it wouldn't have really mattered. They could have figured out something else to do. Oh, I'm dropping frames here. What's going on? There we go. Back to green. Back to green. You gotta love some Xfinity internet here. Gotta love it. All right, let's see. Sasha needs a decent reign. It's kind of too early for Mella vs. Banks. I kind of agree, Joshua. I don't know. I kind of got nervous, to be honest. I really got nervous. I thought that they might be punishing Sasha Banks tonight because Snoop Dogg is going to be on the commentary team for AEW during one of the holiday shows. So I really thought it was going to be a bad night. I really thought she might end up dropping the SmackDown Women's Championship. Flash says, why the hell not? So the reason why I would prefer that they would have held off with this match is simply just because we're going to watch it again. It takes away the things being special, right? So the whole thing was great because we haven't seen this new Carmella. We haven't seen her entrance or anything. We haven't seen her wrestle Sasha Banks since her debut. She hasn't wrestled anyone, to be honest. I don't even think she's been like on. Oh no, she has been on screen attacking Sasha, but it's all about preserving these matches for a pay-per-view, because when you get to the point of, okay, I've seen these people wrestle 4 times already this month alone, why do I care about watching them wrestle again at TLC? And you don't need to have these. You didn't need to have this disqualification to give a stipulation at TLC. The pay-per-view is tables, ladders, and chairs. Who cares what kind of things are going on? It's a TLC pay-per-view, so just make it a TLC match just because it's TLC. Like, who cares? I don't think anyone's going to be mad at that. Plus, she attacked her from behind for like 3 weeks in a row. So all you have to do is have Sasha be like, hey, you've been beating the hell out of me from behind. I'm done with this. I'm not playing. I'm going to beat the living hell out of you at TLC, and we're going to have a TLC match. It's that simple. Cut and dry. Everyone's going to be super hype. Then they could just figure out something to do, a little stare down next week or something, and then bam, you're good to go. And guess what? You have arrived at TLC without having a match, without spoiling anything, without ruining anything. You have a nice, fresh match. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. It's so simple. Thoughts on Carmella Bordeaux's new entrance? It was interesting. I think it fits the character that they're playing pretty well. Not bad. I don't have any complaints about it, although my only complaint is that I saw it tonight, and I would have preferred to see it next Sunday at TLC. That's all. Other than that, I liked it. I like her gimmick, other than it just reminds me of Scarlett Bordeaux. So it's weird. It's the same case for the New Day versus the Hurt Business. It's exhausting. Yeah, exactly, Flash. And they're doing the exact same thing right now with Street Profits and the Uncles. Same exact thing. We've seen them face each other in tag matches. We've seen them face each other in singles matches in different variations. And now next week on FS1, we're going to watch them for the tag titles. And I'm assuming what's going to happen is Ziggler and Roode they're going to lose, and then they're going to complain about it, and then they're going to have some sort of TLC match or something at TLC or something. I don't know. It's brutal. Did you know Rollins and Mysterio was nominated for Rivalry of the Year? Yes. Yes, I did. Absolutely insane. Ashley says, I can't get behind the gimmick. You don't like the whole diva kind of gimmick? I can't be mad at it. It's something a little bit different, kind of. At least they're kind of working to change it up a little bit. So I can't complain about that. And it's always good to see someone else in contention. It was pretty much just Bayley, Sasha, and Asuka running things for quite a while. So absolutely brutal. Jay says Vince is on crack if he thinks Keith needs to improve his in-ring skills. Thank you. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's something else I want to talk about at the end of the show tonight. Maybe briefly, or maybe, I don't know. It depends. We'll go through the show tonight, and then afterwards we may talk about a couple things. Maybe I'll record something after the show tonight to kind of go over some other things that are kind of driving me absolutely insane. Why the hell did Vince ban WWE employees from using Twitch? He just wanted a cut. Just wanted a cut. I like the fabulous Carmella. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I liked that version of Carmella too, but I also don't mind seeing a new version of her. Especially, you know, it's probably not going to last forever or for very long. I'm assuming she'll probably go back to being the fabulous Carmella at some point. Sweet Life of Dakota and Austin says, sorry, I'm late. I was doing a podcast. No worries, man. Absolutely no worries. We're kind of just getting started here. We're still on the very first thing of the show, talking about the contract signing. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we can talk about it a little bit more here once we get to the end for the main event. But next up, we had Montez Ford versus Dolph Ziggler here. Another just a lazy kind of extension of dragging out a feud as long as you possibly can until a pay-per-view. I don't understand why they had to do this. It's so lazy at this point, like just running these variations of shows back and forth. I just don't understand why it doesn't do. I don't know. Maybe it's different for other people. And maybe you guys can tell me in the chat if you guys feel different about it. But for me, this stuff just ruins it for me. Like I don't care. I just couldn't care less after I see this stuff happen over and over and over. Tag matches or singles matches, it doesn't matter. Variations of things, it just drives me nuts. It just makes me think that they're just dragging it out, and that they don't want to put any thought behind their show. It's pretty much how I feel about it. It's just so lazy. It's just like, it's like they pick a destination, right? So they're like, okay, even though they don't even do this, there's no way that I feel like they picked a destination for a match to happen. But it feels like they're like, okay, TLC, we're gonna have Street Profits versus everyone's favorite uncles, right? And then they're like, okay, well, we have 5 weeks to get there, so what are we gonna do? And then they just kind of blah 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 blah, pin it together. Instead, they should just be focusing on making things work. Like, why can't the Street Profits fight someone else? Why? You have the Lucha House Party, right? I mean, I think Kalisto has split from them if they ever finished telling what they were kind of doing there. But what about the other two? What about Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado? What are they doing? I haven't seen them on TV. They're on SmackDown as well, aren't they? So why don't you have the Street Profits get a win over the Lucha House Party? Better yet, why don't you have Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode get a win over Lucha House Party? Right? The whole thing to build a match is to make the competitors seem like a threat to the champions, right? So when you get this whole thing of champions are fighting some tag team and then they lose to them, that should be a very rare thing that happens. And I understand that if you pin a champion, sure, maybe you do deserve a shot at the championship. But that should not be your default. That should never be your default to pin your champions. Your champions are the best that you have to offer. Period. Whether it's the Universal Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, or in this case, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, if you were holding those, that means you're the best tag team on the show. Does it not? So why are you losing? Why are you losing? You're clearly not the best on the show. But then, when it comes to actually being a title match, they win. I don't get it. What are the other tag teams that no SmackDown have? I don't know, man. I don't know. People are saying that Lucha House Party were on Raw. So, oh yeah, that's right. That actually makes sense because they were getting beat up. Okay, so you don't really have very many tag teams on SmackDown. But that's not my problem, right? That's their problem. So like, make some tag teams. And better yet, stop splitting up tag teams only to form other tag teams. I'll talk about that more when we get to that part. But Jesus, man, I don't understand at all. And of course here, Dolph Ziggler gets the win over Montez Ford. So what ends up happening, Montez goes to hit his insanely ungodly high frog splash. And Robert Roode ends up attacking Angelo Dawkins on the outside of the ring, throws him into the steel steps. This causes a distraction, and Montez Ford kind of forgets where he is. And Ziggy gets the advantage here and wins the match. So naturally, of course, they get themselves a shot at the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Exactly. Bucks vs. FTR is a perfect example of a long-term tag rivalry done right. Booking interesting angles and interesting development, not endless matches. Exactly. You don't need just a face-to-face alone with the Bucks and FTR was enough to be like, wow, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be huge. Like, I need to watch this. It's stuff like that that gets people hyped up for the matches. If they had FTR and the Bucks fight 3 times before they fought at the pay-per-view for the titles, that match would be completely useless. And guess what? You know what they did? They didn't run it back at the end of the show, or they on the next show. FTR was gone, and then they reappeared, and now they're fighting other teams. Wow. What a thought. What a way to build a tag division. It makes so much sense. Flash Paco says, no swearing. I'm sorry, I meant So, I don't know. I would love to see them do the same thing. If they're going to have a tag team division, they need to book their tag team division. If they're going to have a tag team division, they need to have tag teams. So start putting people together, start making it make sense. SmackDown does have the Knights of the Lone Wolf now. So Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler have kind of entered in the mix here. So hopefully they can use them. They're talented guys as well, and they kind of got screwed by Jackson Riker. So Authors of Wrestling with a pipe bomb. Yes, this is rated R, folks. And now they're trying to build Chad Gable and Otis as a team. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. At least AEW knows how to book a show. Yeah, I mean, I hate to do the comparisons all the time, but it's like, put some thought into your show, man. Like, put more than 10 minutes of thought into it. I could literally put this show together in 5 minutes, if even 5 minutes. You could literally just come wake me up from a dead sleep and be like, hey, we forgot to write SmackDown tonight. Can you write a good show for us? And I would just be like, I could write a better show than this. Easy. It's so easy. I don't get it. And the thing is that if you put some thought to your show, the other shows, they slowly start to write themselves, right? You don't need to come up with these weird hokey things. You don't need to do stuff like that because the story is there and the story will naturally progress. So I don't understand why they don't just do it. Put a little bit of thought into the show. That's it. Raphael says, I make way better shows when I play 2K Universe mode. This writing makes me proud of what I come up with. Yeah, man, like this, what this show feels like, it's like starting a universe mode, picking all your champions and everything, and then fast forwarding 4 years down the road and see what happens when you have James Ellsworth as your universal champion, and then and then you have I don't even know, man. You have Enzo and Gilbert as your tag team champions. Like, it's just, it makes absolutely no sense. Just put some thought into it. That's all we ask. Oh, but my apologies. My sincere apologies. We are all just a bunch of assholes, and we just simply don't want to be entertained. We don't want to be entertained. We just are looking for trouble. Oh, the WWE mentality and the company, man. Company people, they absolutely kill me, man. It's your fault. It's your fault that SmackDown isn't good tonight because you weren't open-minded. And you don't like garbage. You should just accept everything that they put your way, and it should just all be good. We here at the WWE, we can do absolutely no wrong. So if you see some wrong, it's your problem, not ours. We're perfect. We do everything right. You guys are just a bunch of stupid idiots who are going to be paying $50 to sit here in this seat, and you're just gonna take it and enjoy it. And please buy a Roman Reigns t-shirt on the way out. Thank you for coming. And guess what? You'll be too stupid to remember next week, so we're just gonna do whatever the hell we want again afterwards. Do you think Triple H needs to take over soon rather than later? Yeah, I would like to see that. I would absolutely like to see that. Make AEW GM of Raw and SmackDown. I would not last in WWE, man. I would not last. I either would be myself, I would speak up, and I would just get absolutely beat up by VKM. Vince is a big man. He may be old, but he's a big man. He beat the living hell out of me and have some almost throw me out of the building or something. That 10-foot tall dude, he'd throw me out. Either that, or I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm getting paid $120,000 a year to sit here at this desk. So you know what, Vince, pouring dog food on Roman Reigns is a fantastic idea. I think the fans will love it. And you know what? If they don't love it, they're dumb. There you go. That's how me working in WWE would be. WWE thinks we're idiots. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just imagine AEW pulling a Teddy Long, making tag team matches, and setting a random play at one-on-one with The Undertaker. That's right. I like the idea of that, of having someone so badass that no one wants to face him. So I always thought that was kind of fun, where it's like, hey, you know what? You're going one-on-one with The Undertaker. And it's like, everyone's like, no, please, please. No, please, no. I thought We Are the Authority. Yeah, Obi James. If you guys remember, what was that, in 2018? Was it the end of 2018? I believe, somewhere around there, where they came out and they're like, hey, you guys are the lifeblood of WWE. You guys are fantastic. We love you. We know that we haven't been doing our best. And you know what? We're going to start doing our best. We're going to start listening to you. And we're going to pull this show out of the dumps. Here we are 2 years later. Still in the dumps. No sign of getting out of them. It's insane. The Best says this mark is the type of mark that would defend TNA back then over WWE. Stop putting the minor leagues over the major leagues. All right, buddy. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. We're going to give you what you want. Absolutely, Ashton. Absolutely. Hope you enjoy the show tonight, The Best. Stick around. I would love to have you. Increase my watch time. Absolutely amazing. So anyways, this match was a complete waste of time, just like always. And they announced them for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match next week on Raw, not Raw, SmackDown, which will be airing on FS1. So I kind of get why they're doing those matches, because I think their viewership drops a lot when they're on FS1, but it is what it is, whatever. So after this, we had a backstage segment here with Sami Zayn complaining about not having a t-shirt. Right? So then the fantastic Big E comes up. Let me see what he said here. He said, "It's not about the shirt, it's about the meat inside of it." There's your quote of the night right there. It's not about the shirt, it's about the meat inside of it. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So apparently Apollo and Kalisto were just standing there on the sidelines. They drew up Sami Zayn a nice little shirt. And for it being a stick figure, it actually looks pretty good, to be honest. It actually looks like Sami. If someone showed me that little stick figure drawing, I would absolutely be like, that's Sami Zayn. That's like this is like a Quizlemania drawing with your mouth. If you guys watch that show by any chance, it's funny. It looks good. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this segment. I really like seeing Big E still be himself. I would absolutely love nothing more to see him be himself and succeed in the singles division. He deserves it. He's absolutely amazing. The guy is world champion material, and hopefully, I mean, probably not because of his failure tonight in his match, but I would love to see Big E go on an Intercontinental Championship reign. Absolutely. It'd be awesome. Sami needs 5, but Big E is the GOAT. Put that on a shirt. Yes. Totally down for that. Totally down for that. Notice how the only people allowed to act like themselves, Big E, Riddle, and McIntyre, are all always entertaining. Yep. And especially with McIntyre, man, like, it seemed like McIntyre got kind of stale for a while for me. He wasn't very interesting. He was kind of just generic WWE guy, you know? And then they started letting him be himself. Whole other story. Look at where that man is today. He's killing it. Drew McIntyre is absolutely killing it. So they did a fantastic job in just letting him be himself. He's likable. He's believable as a WWE champion. So I can't ever complain about stuff like that. I really like it. And they need to just continue to let Big E be himself. Quizlemania is great. I agree, Warrior. I absolutely love Quizlemania. And one day I would love to be on Quizlemania, to be honest with you. I think it would be a lot of fun. My fear is that I would have 0 points at the end and I would look like a complete idiot. So absolutely brutal. It would be absolutely brutal. But maybe one day we'll see. Put the women's tag titles on Liv and Ruby. Maybe. They really embarrass Sami every single week. They might as well hand it to Big E. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're doing with Sami. It's an interesting story. I mean, I'm really happy to see him back, and I'm really happy that they kind of threw him right back into the Intercontinental Championship picture. It made a lot of sense, you know, travel bans, he was stuck, or he didn't feel comfortable working because of the pandemic. I have no problem with that, so I'm kind of glad that they just put him right back in the role that he was when he left. That's awesome. But the character that they're doing right now, I don't really get it. It's not entertaining to me. So naturally, you know, after this segment, we had a match with Big E and Sami Zayn. Match was pretty good for the most part. I had no complaints about it. But obviously, Sami's doing anything and everything he can to kind of get out of the matches without an actual win. So he had Big E running all around the outside of the ring. He had a part that was actually great about it is Sami, he was running around the ring, and then he ran behind the announce table, and then Big E, he's a thick boy. He's a pretty big boy. So he goes to do it as well, and he gets stuck on Michael Cole. And he can't get through. He's a little too big to make it through. So I enjoyed that. That was pretty funny. After that, he ran straight under the ring and kind of hid. Big E followed him. And then somewhere around like the 7-ish count and the 10 count, Sami Zayn emerged and kind of just kicked the hell out of Big E and hopped back in the ring. Then bam, won from a 10 count. So I don't know. Like, I get what they're doing with Sammy, and they're doing the like the heel type deal, and I get it. I don't mind it. It's just, it's boring. It doesn't come across good on TV, especially when you have people like Big E, who you're supposed to be bigging up. You're supposed to be pushing them. You're supposed to be propelling them into that next area. And this doesn't do it for me. Like, having someone pin Big E isn't the worst thing in the world, but having him lose as a count out, I don't know, man. It just, losing to distractions, count outs, dumb disqualifications, like, I don't get that kind of stuff. Like, it makes you look dumb more than it does protect you. Big E is not new to wrestling. He's well aware of 10 counts, and he works in WWE, so obviously he knows how they run the shows. If Big E gets a win over Sami Zayn, he's probably going to get an Intercontinental title shot. So why is he chasing him around the ring? If Sami Zayn wants to run, let him run. That's a count out. That's a victory for you, right? And then you can argue, hey, I beat Sami Zayn. Whether he wants to fight me or not, I beat him, right? Maddie says, I'm trying to... yeah, just don't pay attention. Who cares? Yeah, I couldn't care less. We're here to have a good time. I don't care. If someone wants to, if people don't agree with me, I don't care. Like, all of this is, of course, it's my opinion, right? All of this is my opinion. None of this is fact. Although I would argue that most of the time I'm pretty correct in the things that I'm speaking of. But it's all opinion based. If someone wants to waste their time and talk shit, I don't care, man. You have a blast. You have a blast. I don't care. I would and I find it funny, especially, you know, like on Mondays and Fridays, when the shows aren't good, people want to attack me as if I wrote the show. I can't help but laugh. And one of the things that I thought about when I was getting ready to do all the streaming stuff, this streaming and the shows and everything, I was like, you know what? I cannot wait until the first Monday. I was like, oh man, this show's going to be terrible. I'm going to say that this show is absolute garbage and there's going to be so many pissed off people. And it's like, you can sit here you want and you can listen to what I have to say. That's totally cool. And you can say what you want. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. But guess what? You're increasing my viewership, and you're only doing great things for me. You're telling the YouTube algorithm that I'm a show that needs to be watched. You're increasing my chat engagement. So you're giving me engagement in that aspect. You're giving me a view in that aspect. It's all good, man. It's all good. You can just keep on rocking, man. You can teach me all day. I don't care. YouTube watch hours. I'm gonna get paid. So hey, talk your shit, man. I appreciate it. You do you. You do you, man. So anyways, good stuff. You need those watch hours too for that. Yeah, man, Maddie, it's 4,000 watch hours. The best. Please, bro, if you have a problem with my stuff, please go back and watch my my episode of Raw that I did last time, and then I got another episode of SmackDown. Although that one I kind of talked pretty good about the show, so you might not enjoy that one very much. But I did some AEW Dynamite ones as well, where I thought those shows were fantastic. So you'll probably hate them. So go ahead and go watch those, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, man. I'd really appreciate that. Didn't know that wanting quality out of the show that you took time out of your day to watch made you a mark. Yeah, Raphael, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's the whole thing of like, we give you so much time in WWE. If you only watch Raw and SmackDown, that's 5 hours of wrestling. that you give to WWE every single week, right? That's a lot of hours. You could do a lot of stuff with 5 hours a week extra. What if you're that casual fan that loves the extra bits as well? So you're watching Raw Talk, you're watching Talking Smack as well. What are those, an hour as well? So you've now gone from 5 to 7. 7 hours is a lot of time. Now, what if you're the NXT fan? NXT is now 2 hours. You are now watching 9 hours of WWE content every single week. So add in your 40 hours a week from working, cooking, cleaning, spending time with your family, your loved one, stuff. It's a lot of time, man. It's a lot of time. So of course we want to see things that are good. Of course, like, my time is valuable. I work for myself, right? So before, I didn't really care. I worked 2 jobs, and I always kind of was like, I'll just do this myself. I didn't really value my time. And it wasn't until I started my own business that I learned that my time is so valuable, and it's my greatest asset is my time. And once you realize that, it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my time? Like, if you're not going to provide me the entertainment that I need, what am I doing? So of course, like, if the shows aren't good, we're going to say that they're not good. That's just the way it is. It's not us being ungrateful. It's not us being too stubborn. It's not us not being able to be entertained. It's just that the things that you're putting out are not entertaining. That's all it is. So I don't know. The amount of hours AEW invests in wrestling is too damn high. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I really enjoy this podcast. Thank you, Hoodie. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It seems like our friend has left. That's very unfortunate, because I would love your watch time, friend. I would love it. I need 3,600 more hours of watch time. So yikes. And that's even before being like accepted. Then you just get accepted at that point. And those 4,000 hours don't even count. So it's everything afterwards that counts. So it's brutal, but it's a journey that we're working on. I did well on Instagram, so I think we'll do just fine here. It's all about consistency. So ding dong. Moving on to the next topic here. We had a backstage segment with Bayley talking a bunch of crap about Bianca Belair. This was good. I'm really excited to see this Bayley and Bianca Belair feud. I think they're going to put on a fantastic match. I'm really sad that they're doing it next week on FS1, because I just feel like they're going to do that typical WWE fashion thing where they have it end in a DQ or a distraction, or it's going to have some hokey finish or something. And then maybe they'll run it back at TLC. I hope that's not the case. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Bianca Belair is a star. Yes, Ashton, exactly. Bianca Belair is a star, period. Like, she has everything it takes, man. She's athletic. She's fantastic in the ring. She looks fantastic. She's fantastic on the mic. She's gonna be ready. Like, Bianca Belair has got it. Bianca Belair next SmackDown champion. I'm down for that, JB. I'm absolutely down for that. I think as long as they build her properly and she beats Bayley, and they don't do some drawn out crap with her, I absolutely think that she could be the next champion. And Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Hey, maybe that's a WrestleMania match. That would be huge. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's a big match. That's a big match. So hopefully they do right by this. I would love to see Bianca Belair get propelled up into that next area. And I think she just needs a couple wins. Win over Bayley, yes. Win over, God, I don't even know who else. Natalya, yes. Like, wins. And not, I don't always want to see her dominate, right? Good matches. We need some good matches with some back and forth. Give me a couple minutes. Don't give me a 3-minute Bianca Belair match. Give me like 6 minutes, 7 minutes or something. Just a little bit of offense, make her look really good. I think really, like, I honestly think the sky's the limit is for Bianca Belair. She could go and do anything. It should have been Shayna versus Asuka versus Belair at SummerSlam, but now Asuka is with Lana. Shayna is with Nia, and Belair has been invisible until SmackDown. Yeah, I don't quite understand what they did with her. They debuted her with Street Profits, and they kind of had her like be mad at them for being all goofy and being themselves. And I can't remember if they did that for 1 week or 2 weeks. And then they just kind of left. And then I think she had a match, and then she was just gone. So I don't quite understand, but I'm happy where she's at right now. I think they're doing fantastic. So hopefully they just keep going. Just keep putting her on TV, keep pushing her. We need to see it. It'll be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Flash said, I said it on Instagram, I'm saying it here. If Bianca doesn't win the Royal Rumble, I will rip my own eye like Rollins did with Rey Mysterio. I could see Bianca winning the Royal Rumble. That would be a huge accomplishment. Absolutely huge. It'd be a perfect setup. And then a perfect build too. As long as, if that's the case, I don't want to see Sasha and I don't want to see Bianca Belair touch each other at all until WrestleMania. I think that would be fantastic, especially if Bianca Belair would win at WrestleMania and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. They're holding back Shayna. I would agree, Ashton. I cannot, never in a million years did I think that I would see Shayna Baszler and Big Oof as a tag team, and then add another million years to that. I never would have thought that they would be WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And I certainly wouldn't have thought that they would have gone on such a long reign with the championships either. It's brutal. It's brutal. But I think where they're going, I think Lana and Asuka are going to win them. I believe that. I believe at TLC, Asuka and Lana are going to win the championships. Thoughts on Bianca and the Hurt Business? That couldn't happen because Bianca is on SmackDown and the Hurt Business is on Raw. But if we're talking Hurt Business, we could put Naomi in the Hurt Business, who is also on Raw and hasn't been seen in a very long time. So I would have no problems with that. That would be absolutely incredible. And I've said it before on a couple of other shows. They should 100% have more intergender stables. I think that would be really cool. Really cool. It's sad that Shayna isn't challenging Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Yeah, it's, the sad thing is they even mentioned it in the tag match for last Monday, where they were like, man, Shayna was in the Elimination Chamber. She single-handedly eliminated every single person. And it's like, yeah, so why didn't you push her? Why wasn't she propelled to superstardom? I get that Shayna is maybe a little boring for some people because not that style of wrestling isn't for everyone, but there's no denying that Shayna Baszler was a fantastic NXT Women's Champion. Fantastic. She held the title for super long. She was super dominant, and they really screwed the pooch on that call up, if you want to call it that these days. They had a lot with her. They could have ran Shayna and Asuka back. That would have been fantastic to see that on a big stage. And I personally, we're not going to be able to see it now because Ember Moon is on NXT for now. I really wanted to see Raw Women's Champion Asuka versus SmackDown Women's Champion Ember Moon. I wanted to see them clash at a Survivor Series. I think that would have been super special since their NXT stuff. That would have been so cool. I saw a comment of someone saying Shayna and Nia are the female version of Team Hell No. They're not even close to Team Hell No. Was funny and entertaining. Yeah, I don't like anything that they do, to be honest. I'm sorry. And it's nothing against them personally. It's just, that's not my form of entertainment. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's just not good. I don't like it. If Naomi goes to the Hurt Business, we would see Naomi versus Reckoning so much. Yeah, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know what to do over there. They wouldn't know what to do. It's also sad that they have Shayna in losing every week. Yeah, she's lost 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row. Absolutely insane. And something that I saw when I was actually going live, let me see if I can find it again. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp that posted it on Twitter. He said, "This is the 5th straight Raw or SmackDown with a DQ no contest finish." That's what I talk about all the time when I say that they just overuse things. 5 in a row. 5 in a row for the main event. That's insane. Absolutely insane. So now we get on to the highlight of the show. The best part of SmackDown, without a doubt, was this whole entire segment with Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns. Man, I swear, everything that they do is perfect. Roman, I really hated that Roman came back and just won the Universal Championship. But, man, I can't lie. They've been doing so good. Like, incredible. It's all so good. Kevin Owens, like I've said before, he's a fantastic person to throw into this feud. He's literally golden in any role that you throw him in, just kind of like AJ Styles. He can be a fantastic heel. He can be a fantastic face. He can talk. He can wrestle. He can do literally all of it. So he's the perfect person to feud with in this. And Kevin Owens taking an L to Roman Reigns on a TLC pay-per-view, I have absolutely no problem with that. That's not going to crush Owens in anything that he's doing. He doesn't have a ton of momentum. He can survive the L, essentially. Roman is a savage, enough said. Yeah, absolutely. The only entertaining part of the show was the build of Roman versus KO. That's all. I completely agree, Warrior. Completely agree. Obi James says, Roman Reigns is the best thing in WWE. 2020 is a weird year. Raphael says, I haven't seen one segment with Roman that I didn't like. They've nailed it. Yeah, I mean, and just like Obi James says, 2020 is wild. Never in a million years did I think that I would tell you that Roman Reigns is probably the best thing going in WWE. By a long shot, too. Let's not get that confused. Everything he's done is perfect. His soft-spoken voice when he's disrespecting you is incredible. Like, it's perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. It's all so good. And I love the thing, you know, Kevin Owens was talking trash to Roman, who was watching backstage on TV. And then all of a sudden, bam, you got Jey Uso in there beating up Kevin Owens with a steel chair. Fantastic stuff. And eventually, Kevin Owens overcomes Jey and gets the advantage, puts him through a table, beats him up quite a bit. That was great. And when that happened, Roman Reigns got pissed off and started coming down to the ring as if he was gonna fight with Kevin Owens. And the great thing about this is that he stopped, handed his title over to Paul, and Paul was like, hey, you're the head of the table. You run this show. No one tells you what to do. You do what you want to do. You run this. You call the shots. You're the head of the table. You're the tribal chief. You make all the decisions here. Kevin Owens doesn't make no decisions. It's you. Don't let him tell you what to do. You don't need to go fight him. Absolutely perfect. And they just turn around and walk away. Like, man, that's it. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. I absolutely love it. And the role that Paul Heyman fills here is so good too. Like, he's not overbearing. He's just kind of mostly there for the most part. And I love it. I love it. I can't speak higher of it. Like, I like it. I think everything that they're doing is great, and hopefully they continue. I'm not sure how long they can continue this. I don't know if you guys saw my post on Instagram today, but I can't even remember who Roman Reigns, or not Roman Reigns, but The Rock did an interview with, and he said that maybe in 2022 he wants to fight Roman Reigns. So we got a ways to go for that. I'm not sure. Obviously, there's no way that they're going to be able to stretch this whole thing out for that long. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate around it, unless it's just a huge swerve, which I doubt, since we've seen tons of kind of concrete evidence that the feud that we're gonna get is Roman and Goldberg for WrestleMania. I saw that someone was like, "Oh, that it's just a bunch of bullshit," but I mean, he's been on the bump. He's been talking about Roman, about him stealing his move. He's been on WWE programming stuff. Like, sorry, I'm pretty sure it's happening. This hasn't been happening this entire time, so it just so happens that it happens now. So Manny says if Uso screws over Roman, so Owens gets the title and Owens keeps it, I would be extremely happy because then we would get another Uso versus Roman, but with another layer. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they do that. Roman's too hot. He's way too hot to be even taking those kind of L's. I think I wouldn't do it. Roman needs to be on top for a long time, and I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be. I don't think it's ever going to happen, to be honest. I can't see Rock's schedule getting any lighter. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. That's why I'm kind of hoping it's a swerve. I'm really hoping that maybe it does happen. This is honestly, like, this is the perfect storm. Like, everything is primed and ready to go for this. The Rock versus Roman Reigns. The only thing you're missing is the 100,000 people in attendance. But I mean, hey man, who knows when the world's going to go back to normal. So this kind of just seems like the new normal to me. And I honestly, I think if it's not done now, it's not going to be as special. Sure, it'll still be special. And of course, Roman Reigns versus The Rock is a huge marquee match. But I just feel like with everything that's going on right now, it couldn't be a better time to pull the trigger. I couldn't see a better time, to be honest. Goldberg rooting, the best thing going yet again. Happened with The Fiend, happened with KO when he was champ, and now Roman. Yeah, except this time I really don't see Goldberg winning. I don't. I see it being a quick match. Probably exchanging a couple spears between each other. And Goldberg will probably try to hit a jackhammer or something, and then he'll get a Superman punch or something. And I don't know. It'll probably be that or a short match. You know what would be actually appealing is if Roman just beat the hell out of Goldberg. I wouldn't mind seeing that, and that would tell a cool story, to be honest, if he just destroyed him. You have this guy that, sure, he's not as great as he used to be, but he was undefeated for a long time, like 25 years ago. He was a believable beast. He squashed everyone. So it would really kind of be fitting to put over Roman and just be kind of squashed, I guess, if you want to call it that. For the things I've seen about Goldberg, though, I can't say that he's that type of person. I don't know him or anything. I'm just going off of the kind of things that I've read him say. So I don't quite see that happening, but we'll see. Goldberg wants to be a hero to all the kids. He can't lose to big, mean old Reigns. Yeah, right? If I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrestle, I need to be the winner. Like, come on, man. I just watched the Braun Strowman and Goldberg match. Someone posted it on Twitter. It was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. And it's just a spot fest. Like, it's literally like, it's like playing the old SmackDown Here Comes the Pain game. And you and your buddy, you give yourself 6 finishers or whatever. And then you just start off the match and you're just like, spear, start off the match. And then it's just finisher and special central. That's the only thing that I think about when I see Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. It's like just jacking up the signatures and the finishers in the game. It's, oh man. Will we ever get Matt Riddle versus Goldberg? No. A lot of people don't like Matt Riddle. A lot of people. It's crazy. And Matt Riddle was just talking crap about Goldberg the other day, about how he wants to fight him, and he said he's even willing to lose. He's not the type of guy that needs the win. So we'll see. Goldberg did say in an interview that he wants to wrestle Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Keith Lee. I believe is the other one. Maybe because he's stoned every week. I think it's because of the accusations that happened to Riddle a couple months ago. That could possibly be why. I don't want to touch on it because I don't like talking about or speculating about things like that for people's careers, but I think that's the problem. If you don't know, I would just urge you to Google it. Google it. I'm sure it'll pop up. But anyways, this whole Roman Reigns thing, absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see more of it. I'm really excited to see their TLC match. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Rated C says feels like Matt would embarrass Goldberg in the ring. Yeah, probably. Yep, I would assume so. William Regal did it to Goldberg back in the day. If you're if you don't know about that, Google that as well. William Regal versus Goldberg. I believe it's in WCW. Man, Goldberg was not happy about that. I don't like Riddle because of his gimmick. That's it for me. He just seems like a walking stereotype to me. Yeah, he just definitely seems like just a walking stoner, but that just kind of seems like him. I enjoy it. I like Matt Riddle. I think he's fantastic in the ring. I think his work in NXT is fantastic. He's one of those guys that's kind of hard to defeat if you let him be himself. So I don't mind the stuff he's doing on Raw. He's one of those guys that can do the comedy stuff, the bro nuts. I have no problem with the bro nuts. I actually have no problem with the Hardy Bros either. I think that's fantastic. I think that fits with what he's doing just fine. Ashton Brooks says, love him or you don't. Yeah, kind of like the whole blue cheese thing, right? You're either one of those people where you love blue cheese or it's just like the most disgusting thing you've ever heard of. I guess that's Matt Riddle summed up. Matt Riddle is just blue cheese. There you go. Broetry in motion. Yes, Speedfella. Perfect. I love it. I love it. Are you looking forward to TLC? Yes. I'm at least looking forward to Roman and Kevin Owens. That should be a good one. I'm sure they'll have some other stuff on the card. We'll wait and kind of see how it fills out with everything, because I'm sure they're going to run some other stuff back. And maybe they'll add an interesting stipulation to Sasha Banks and Carmella as well. Matt Blue Cheese Riddle has a nice ring to it. Yeah. Oh, God. Vince, I hope you're not watching. Oh, it's going to change that. I forgot that he's not even called Matt Riddle. He's just Riddle, right? Or did they already forget that? Because I don't change their names when I talk about them. He's always Matt Riddle for me. Well, I like blue cheese, bro, Matt Riddle. I like blue cheese and I like Matt Riddle, so I'm all good here. Bro, I haven't watched much wrestling this year and your page keeps me updated. Thanks. You're welcome, Speedfella. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here. And you're honestly not missing much. If you ever want to return to wrestling, just stick to NXT and Dynamite. I wouldn't recommend watching SmackDown or Raw. SmackDown has its ups, but boy, do they have their downs as well. Oh yeah, AJ versus McIntyre will be good. Orton and The Fiend will be good too. Yeah, so yeah, I guess, yeah. TLC looking pretty decent. Pretty decent. Oh God, I forgot they knocked off Matt in names. Yeah, he's Matt Riddler. Saw a bunch of people posting Riddle stuff for him. Streets are telling me Dynamite on top right now. Hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you, but the streets are right. The streets are 100% correct. For me, Dynamite is the best wrestling show of the week by far. By far. And I think that's a topic that we'll have sometime. I think we'll have the NXT and the AEW topic, because I think it could be interesting. I think there's a lot more that goes into it than people think, at least from my side, like from my view. There's a lot more that goes into it rather than just the shows. So yeah, after this promo, we had a quick match that made absolutely no sense. We see the Riot Squad reunite. Like, they broke up the Riot Squad for no reason. Like, I don't get it. They did this whole huge thing with Liv Morgan that absolutely fell flat on its face, went nowhere. Ruby Riott was just gone, never to be seen again. And now here they are. They're back together. They're the Riot Squad. I don't know why they ever broke them up. They are fantastic contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And Ashton says we need Sarah. I 100% agree with you, but she's pregnant. So when she's back, I would love to see her get her job back. 100%. I would love that. When that happened, I think there was a lot of people that fought for her, and it was rumored that they were going to bring her back. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. You definitely got to do topics on this page, like dream matches and stuff. Yeah, I plan on it. I plan on doing a lot of other stuff, but I'm still trying to get into the funk of doing all this stuff. It's a whole new ball game. Like, just to sit here and talk about a wrestling show, like, I honestly thought that these would be like 20, 30 minutes, maybe at the longest. And here we are at an hour and 11 minutes almost, and we're kind of almost done. We're a little more than halfway, but yeah, it's insane. So I'm still trying to get used to this and do the other things as well. And I'm trying to put together like music and stuff like that for other shows. I have a cool idea for a fun little show. It'll be a little different, but I think it'll be fun. And I think it'll be a cool way to do other things and expand what I do a little bit. Just more on the video side, more short videos, stuff like that, 10 minutes or so. The fact that AEW is that much better than NXT, but NXT is still so much better than SmackDown and Raw is crazy. Yeah, man, I don't get it. The difference between NXT and Raw and SmackDown is insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, when Paul was part of the creative, he had plans to push Morgan, but when he got removed, they canceled all of his future plans for other stars. Yeah, I heard about that with Apollo and stuff like that, but it's a shame. I feel like we missed out on a good Riot Squad tag title reign, and we're sitting here stuck with a Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax title reign. Like, 2020 is a wild year. So I just hate seeing stuff like that. Speedfellas has been watching Bleach and JoJo. Couldn't watch no wrestling this year. No worries. I hear those are animes. I hear those are fantastic. And Payne is in a dysfunctional team with Lacey now. Yep. It's insane. Like Cesaro, yeah. It doesn't make any sense, man. And not only that, so now you have the Riot Squad back, and apparently they made this match on Talking Smack last week. Billie Kay and the Riot Squad are gonna have a match. Billie Kay has a mystery tag partner, and everyone knows that Eva Marie got signed to WWE. She's been signed for a while, I think since September or something like that, and she's still on the internal roster sheet. So everyone was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have Eva Marie debut. But psych, it was the boat, Natalya. Makes absolutely no sense, man. Why is Natalya teaming up with Billie Kay? Why? And last week, I discussed my displeasure with Natalya getting a submission win over Bayley. Pretty quick one, too, to say the least. And here she is next week. I said, you know what? I'll let them rock with it. All right. I'm not going to complain about it. I'll see what they do with Natalya next week. Here we are next week. The Riot Squad versus Billie Kay and Natalya. They lost in like 2 minutes. Now, granted, it wasn't Natalya that took the pin, so she's protected. She's still strong. Blah, 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 blah. Right? But she still lost. She still lost in 2 minutes. It's bad. So the booking makes absolutely no sense. Why did Bayley have to lose to Natalya for Natalya to lose in 2 minutes? A loss is a loss. I don't care if it's a disqualification. I don't care if you didn't take the pin. I don't care if it was a no contest. I don't care. A loss is a loss. Let's stop pretending that they're not. That match on Natalya's win and loss record counts as an L. There's no star next to it. There's no asterisk. There's no nothing. It's all just a loss. So it makes no sense. The win for Bayley would have made way more sense, especially since she's about to collide with Bianca Belair. So why wouldn't you want to make them look strong and have that match be bigger or feel bigger at least. So it just didn't make any sense. WWE should do one or two things: make tag teams on one show, or get rid of the women's tag titles and make the tag titles available to all genders. I don't think they would do the intergender titles. I don't think they would do that. I wouldn't mind seeing just, I mean, I don't know if this would probably be a bad look, so they probably wouldn't do it. No, because you wouldn't put all women on one show. So maybe make the men's tag titles on one show and the female tag titles on one show. And then you could have, obviously you'd have a larger pool of females on one show than you would the other, but the other one would still have their singles championship. So you could do that. You could do that a little bit. I don't know. The dynamic of not having like enough tag teams is just brutal. Like, the thing is that you can never have too many tag teams, right? Because if you have tag team people, they could still be single stars. Like, look at Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Either one of them can wrestle singles matches and no one's going to complain. They're not going to be like, oh, the Riot Squad, they're just a tag team. Like, they should only wrestle tag team. No, tag teams work both ways. And even for SmackDown, you had Otis win the Money in the Bank championship, and he was a tag team. The whole entire time he was doing his single stuff, he was in a tag team. So why not just have more tag teams and have them wrestle singles matches? It's way better than having a bunch of singles people doing nothing, randomly teaming up for tag team matches, especially when those random one-off tag teams are beating actual tag teams that have been working together for years. So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It's so frustrating when you see these things that's like, wow, a 4-year-old should be able to figure this out, right? Why does this huge billion-dollar company not know how to do this? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Did I just say Money in the Bank championship? I might have. I might have. Talking is difficult, okay? Talking is really hard. The Money in the Bank briefcase, I meant. Oh, hold on. My fiance just texted me. Almost done. All right. So, Speedfella says, all right, I'm going to go watch some Bleach. Good. Goodbye, everyone. Sleep well. No worries, man. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you again. Everyone hated when he won the Money in the Bank, though. Yeah, I mean, they did. And I think the problem was that he just caught it. Like, it just didn't even make any sense. But if you're going to have someone win things, why can't they just win them? I did. My bad. Money in the Bank, championship, briefcase, contract, whatever. It's all the same. I didn't even notice. I like completely just blanked that out. I feel like AJ should have won. Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad at AJ winning. And that was a weird match too, because who was it that killed everyone? Someone threw Rey Mysterio and like Aleister Black over the edge, didn't they? Was it Corbin? The farting Natalya gimmick. Oh man. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, no thank. Please don't bring that back. Please don't bring that back. But anyways, yeah, this match made no sense. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It was Corbin. Yeah, so Corbin murdered everyone and no one even acknowledged it. They didn't even say like, "Hey guys, there was a ledge down there." So like, they're not dead. He didn't launch him off this 40-story tower, or like, "Hey, Corbin just literally killed 2 people yesterday. We should probably get to the bottom of that." They just kind of ignored it. And I think, did they both show up on that show too? You got to show up on the show. I think they might have, because I think I was laughing. I feel like one of them had the taped up ribs. You know, the classic. AJ somehow fumbling the briefcase despite wearing gloves. Yeah. You got to love that. He got the extra grips and he still can't hold on to it. Next thing you know, Aleister Black is back the next night wrestling. Oh, yep. See, there you go. Where the hell is Aleister Black? So, he's not to be seen right now. Of course, you know, if you don't know, he's married to Zelina Vega. So she got released. And it's been said that he wants to go back to NXT, but they won't let him. So I think there's some issues there. They completely ruined Black's move to Raw. It's brutal. And that may be like a subject for another day, like a long one, because there's a lot of missed opportunities there with a lot of people. And how did they come back alive? Did they revive them after hitting the floor? Yeah, any excuse would have been fine. Like, hey, guess what? There's an awning here, and they hit it, and this guy pulled them in. They didn't actually fall that far. There's a pool on the next roof. I don't know, anything. Maybe Aleister Black secretly died from that fall, and that's why he's not on TV anymore. Perhaps a case for Detective AOW. So perhaps we've just been seeing the ghost of Aleister Black, and he's finally made to come to terms with everything. So his ghost figure has left now, and he's just in heaven. That's your explanation for Aleister Black. Contract negotiations, yeah, it could be a lot of things. It seems like they're just not happy. So we'll see. Talk to Tozawa on how they came back to life. Oh yeah, he died. He got eaten by a shark. They didn't even address that. What? Dude, these shows are wild. When you think about like the weird ass things that they just randomly do and then just kind of never acknowledge. Wow. Technically 3 WWE superstars have died this year. So that's a lot of fun. Anyways, after this disaster, if you want to call it a match, we had a backstage segment with Otis and Coach Gable. We actually had a video package of Otis and Coach Gable, who had him blindfolded, and he was throwing balls at his face and hitting him with things, kind of training him. And then they went to like an hours later type deal or days later type deal. I don't remember. And Gable threw a ball at Otis and he caught it. So apparently he trained him very well, and he was good to go being blindfolded. After that, we saw him in a backstage segment here, and this is where you get a glimpse of how odd WWE's tag team booking is. You have Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in a tag team match with Otis and Chad Gable. I don't understand. I don't understand it all. Now the Undertaker having a dead man gimmick is a lot less special. Yeah, when you know that there's 3 actual dead men working for WWE right now. Ashton says that was hilarious. A ball hit him right in the head. Yeah, he just like domed him right in the face with that ball. So this picture, man, this picture that I'm looking at right here was Gable and Otis, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura just standing backstage. What an incredible group of guys you have here. All of these guys currently being wasted. Chad Gable is incredible. Absolutely incredible. This man is fantastic in the ring. One of my favorites. And that's why I refuse to call him his old name, which if you didn't know his old name, it was all right? I cannot believe that they actually named this man. His name is Chad Gable. It always was Chad Gable to me. I will never acknowledge that name. I will never call him ever. Ever, ever, ever. This man is extremely talented. This is the man that should have beat Kurt Angle in his final match. If it wasn't going to be Thugonomics John Cena, it should have been Chad Gable. What an incredible way to pass the torch to the next generation of people. Facts, that name was a disgrace. Absolutely. Like, the whole thing was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Cesaro is a superstar. WWE champ material. Absolutely. The Bryce Arrow says his name was Yep. Absolutely. When Baron Corbin gave him that name, I heard someone call him Talibaldi. Please stop, my ears are bleeding from such inappropriate language. What, you're not a fan of You don't like that name? Chad Gable has so much untapped potential. Yeah, I agree. This man should 100% be somewhere in the mid-card position. at least to start. Give this man's an IC title reign. Please, for the love of God, please make it happen. This guy is ungodly talented. Ungodly talented. And we all know that, like, size doesn't even matter these days. Like, you have your smaller guys doing everything. Like, Adam Cole's a smaller guy. He is NXT champion. Finn Balor, smaller guy. He is the current NXT champion. Like, you have these guys. Rey Mysterio has been world champion. Like, and he's not even that small. I would say he's an average size dude. At least. Oh God, Raphael. Oh, I just saw it. Oh, my eyes. My eyes are bleeding. I can't believe you actually said oh, my goodness. What a terrible stream. What a terrible stream. It's okay. Chad better be in the Hall of Fame just for spending over years. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Wait a second, you said I don't even know what I'm doing, man. The chat has been tainted. I've been tainted. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that's all I know, man. My life has just been ruined. I've seen in person. It's all just bad. It's all bad. But then you have Otis. All right. You have Otis. Otis is great in his own way. Obviously, he's not the same caliber of wrestler that you have in Gable, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura, but the guy he's entertaining. He's entertaining as hell. And he apparently just got sent back to the Performance Center because Vince doesn't like the way that he works. So, Jesus Christ, man. Like, get it together. Get it together. Jay says, at least you don't have to put up with Humberto Carrillo's crimes. Oh my God. He must be paying for his crimes. He must be in jail. We haven't seen him in quite a while. And you know what? He deserves to be in jail. Absolutely. That's where he belongs. I hope we never see him again. What a disgrace. He owes me $1.99 for that Lunchable that he ruined. And I'll never forgive him for those bad pay-per-view predictions that he wrote on my Instagram. What an absolute degenerate. He's a felon. Terrible person. Absolutely terrible. He's paying for his crimes by being on Main Event. Oh, he is. Yeah. I don't pay attention to Main Event at all. I thought Otis was one of Vince's favorites. That's what I thought too. So that's why I'm extremely confused. And it's all thanks to Detective AEW. Yep. Caught him red-handed. He's actually the one that poisoned the Street Profits. You know, he framed Zelina Vega. That whole thing was a fraud. The Hackerman 5000 was never able to expose him before Hackerman got bundled in with the Foot Clan. Jesus. Anyways, Otis sent back to the Performance Center. Apparently, he's not a good big man. He doesn't wrestle well. Apparently, according to Vince, him and Keith Lee of all people. Imagine that. Jesus. Also blackmailed Vince into giving him U.S. title matches. Yep. That is 100% the thing that happened. He got endless title matches for no reason. So obviously that was the only excuse. Only excuse. What if he's the one to hit Elias with the car? Wow. That's gotta be it. Gotta be it. Too bad there's no Hackerman 5000 to prove these crimes. Hacking into the camera circuits to show all this footage and prove it. Such a shame. Such a shame. Oh yeah, where was Murphy Mysterio and his family? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. So anyways, to get back on track, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Humberto probably jumped to Impact and shot Bravo. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I said, hey, you guys should hire Detective AOW if you guys want the case solved. You know, they didn't call. They didn't call the phone number, unfortunately, so it wasn't on the case. But anyways, on the other side of this, we have Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Man, these two people, incredibly talented. These two some of my favorites in WWE, to be honest. And Cesaro, I don't get why he hasn't been a multi-time world champion at this point. He's so good in everything he does. He's so good. Like, it's a shame. Even Xavier Woods said something about him being a world champion today on Twitter. So it's like, it's crazy to think that we all think the same thing, and we all know that this guy's talented, and we all feel like he belongs somewhere in a better place, but they just don't acknowledge it. They just don't care. So it's brutal. To be fair, if you actually used your talented stars like Ricochet, Nakamura, Cesaro, Black, and stuff, then you wouldn't need to have breakdown about your big men not being able to work. Absolutely. And I think that goes to the whole thing with booking your shows too. You don't have to worry about weird finishes and stuff like that when you're utilizing your people. And you know, what's wrong with having someone go out and put on a 10 or 12 minute match? That's 10 or 12 minutes of your show that you don't have to worry about booking in weird segments and weird filler. You know, you could do that all the time. You can even throw in a 20-minute match on there. Good match. Why not? That makes your show amazing. That makes your show must see. So when do you think Andrade and Charlotte will return? Who do you think they'll feud with? I have no idea. I'm hoping to see Andrade just return as a singles competitor and then have Charlotte just kind of manage him. I don't think Charlotte needs to wrestle right now. And yeah, I don't know. His mic skills aren't the best, but other than that, he's gold. Yeah, I mean, they could just pair him with someone. And you know, I don't subscribe to the whole like you have to be perfect at everything either. They could do like a whole gimmick where he's like, I'm not about talking, I'm just about fighting. I'm like, here, I've never thought of this before. This is just something that I literally just thought of when you said that. So that just comes to like how easy this stuff is. You could literally just have Cesaro be a tough guy gimmick where he's like, look, I'm not out here to sit here and talk to you for 20 minutes to open up the show. I'm about fighting. Like, if you want to fight, let's go. You want to challenge me? Let's go. I'll defend my title. I'm not worried about it. I know I'm one of the best in the world. So let's go. There you go. Bam. Not a good talker, right? I solved it for you in literally 10 seconds. That's how easy some of this stuff is to me. Like, I that's why I don't understand why they can't figure things out. If I can do it in 10 seconds, come up with something that I feel like would work, then why can't they? Right? Austin asks, what feud are you liking the most? Probably Roman and Jay, or whatever Roman's doing, I would assume. Has a mic skills for a world championship match. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. I don't think you need to be the full package for everything. I think you can make it work for other things. If only Andrade had someone that complimented his character and did the talking for him. I wonder why they haven't done that. I know, right? It doesn't get much better than Andrade and Zelina Vega. Like, to me, honestly, they were like a perfect package. Absolute perfect package. So it's a real shame. Hopefully Charlotte will be able to do something for him. I don't know. I just honestly feel like it's WWE's fault, not that he wasn't popular or anything. I just think it's their own problem for holding him back. This is why Moxley is perfect. He's always ready to fight, and he's tremendous on the mic. Yeah, I mean, you have all these people. Like, everyone doesn't need to be the same cookie cutter thing. You need to have diversity. That's what makes things great. You know? I'm tired of seeing Jay getting beat up every week. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but like at the same time too, to me it kind of makes sense when you're propelling Jay. So this whole thing is Jay's been propelled into the main event scene without really being built up for it, or without really being like prepared, if you will, story-wise. So it doesn't bother me when people that have been main eventers for the past 5 years are able to get the advantage over him. So stuff like that doesn't bother me, and I don't think that makes Jay Uso look weak. I just feel like that actually makes him, I think it fits, like it's believable, you know? You don't just flip a switch, snap a finger, and then you have this guy who's just unbeatable out of nowhere just because his cousin or whatever says like, hey, people need to fear you. What actually happened with Charlotte, I feel as if she dropped the NXT Women's Championship and then disappeared. I think she had surgery on something. It may have been breast related, but I don't remember. It's been a while. He was a Heyman guy for like 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't understand. And not everyone needs to be a Heyman guy. Like, if someone can't talk, don't put him with Paul Heyman. That's what everyone does. Have him do something else. Come up with something unique. Anything. At least try it. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I can't fault them for trying things, but give up when you know it's not working. Raw Underground was gonna fail from the beginning. I understand that they gave it a couple weeks to try, but after week 3 or 4, nah, we're done. Close it down. This isn't working. Retribution, the Foot Clan, close up shop. It's not working. Thank you for trying. You tried something a little bit different, right? We haven't seen this in a while. Thank you for trying, but it's not working. So peace. You know, we're done. Just give up. Give up when they're not working. It doesn't take 10 months for something to click with people. If they don't like it, it's done. Period. End of story here. So let's get on with this. We're an hour and 40 minutes in. And I gotta go do some stuff with my fiance here. We're gonna go get some dinner. Remember when Cesaro was a Paul Heyman guy? Good times. COVID did something good by shutting that shit down. Yeah. They can just use that as an excuse all they want. I don't care. It was garbage. It didn't increase the end of anything. The show ratings at the end, it didn't increase anything. And you know what? One of the best ratings that Raw had in its third hour was, guess what? That big old match. Big old wrestling match. What was it? Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton? There you go. You want to increase the viewership in your wrestling show? Have some wrestling. Dinner, where are you going? I think we're just gonna make dinner. I think we're making like a chicken, peppers, and cashews type deal. Should be pretty good. We have it every now and then. So yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro end up getting the win here. They beat Chad Gable of all people. So the story that they're kind of trying to tell here is that Otis pretty much had the match won, and Chad Gable was over in the corner begging to be tagged in. And against his better judgment, Otis went over there, tagged in Gable, and Gable ended up losing. So after the match, they had a little backstage segment, little promo here where Gable was telling him like, hey, this was a lesson. Of course we lost. And, you know, I'm kind of showing you what not to do by letting you experience it. You should have just won the match. You shouldn't have tagged me in. So, kind of, I mean, at least they kind of have an explanation. I can't complain about that. So, oh, hold on. I got text again. Okay. Yes, we are cooking. Yes, we will be cooking. So yeah, at least they're telling a story with it. I guess, if anything, that's all I ask for the most part. Just tell a story and anything. So I'll give this a chance. I'll see where it goes. Who knows? After that, we got to see King Corbin, or Baron Corbin. I don't know what he is now. We saw him with his two buddies here, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. And he ended up calling them the Knights of the Lone Wolf, which is a pretty cool name, if you ask me. But at the same time, does that insinuate that King Corbin is done? Because you would think that they would go for some sort of royalty thing, some sort of king gimmick, instead of going back to the Lone Wolf. So this could be fantastic. Hopefully it's the end of the King of the Ring stuff. It's been over a year. No one cared. It didn't do absolutely anything for him. So hopefully that's done. And hopefully we'll get back to the Lone Wolf, especially because his music is so good. It's so good. And plus, like, his Titantron and everything, like, the whole presentation of Baron Corbin is fantastic. So it's really a shame that he gets the shit end of the stick anytime they want to do something. It sucks. If he's a lone wolf, why does he have teammates? Yeah, I don't understand. I guess it kind of defies logic, but but I'm not mad at it. I like it. I would consider Knights being a royal thing. True. Yeah, I would do that too, but then they added in the Lone Wolf into it though. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but he hasn't really gone by that in a while. And I don't think they call him that on commentary or anything. I don't think they've mentioned him as being the Lone Wolf at all for a while. So hopefully that's where I'm kind of getting that. Hopefully he's not King Corbin anymore. Oh, because it's just so bad. I don't know. He kind of mentioned something about the Kings having backup. Oh, did he? Oh, okay. So maybe we're not lucky. Maybe it's just still going to go on. Anyways, I like this dynamic a little bit. It's nice to see these guys back. I think I talked about that last week. They're talented, and they were getting a push. And guess what? They're a tag team. They're a legit tag team. So there you go. Another tag team added in. So hopefully they do that stuff with them instead of just being like, oh, these people are a trio. They can't have tag team matches. He hasn't been the Lone Wolf since SmackDown Live. Wow, that's been so long. Seems like forever ago. Then Riker killed it. Yep. But now he's paired up with Elias. I have no idea why. I guess because they look similar. I don't know. But this is good. Hopefully this is a nice little fresh change for SmackDown. Then we had our main event tonight. Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I honestly feel like this was wasted potential for TLC. They should have saved Carmella's entrance, and this whole presentation thing, it should have been saved for TLC if you ask me. I don't know. I think I stated this earlier in the show, but I think they did it just so they could add a stipulation for the match. They'll probably have a TLC match or something, but they didn't need to do this to have a stipulation. Carmella's been attacking Sasha Banks from behind for 3 weeks, for a month. They don't need to add all this extra fluff to it. We don't need this. You should have just had the contract signing and then just call it a day. Chloe says Carmella in ring was different and better. I agree. I think she looked great in the ring, and I don't have any problems with the match other than the ending. Champagne on a pole match. There you go. That's your big match at TLC. They'll each have a little champagne boy in their corner, or because they didn't have any matches for the night. But you have so many people in the back. Make one. You can make a good match. There's tons of people back there. So, or just span things out a little bit more. You could have had the Owens and Roman Reigns thing close the show or something. I don't know. Just figure it out, because just stuff like this just devalues them. This makes TLC less interesting when you have these two. So they should have saved it. And I was even praising them last week. I was like, man, I'm so excited with what they're doing on this. This is great. Carmella hasn't wrestled. We haven't seen Carmella really. And I mean, we have seen her in her gear, I guess. But we haven't seen her music. We haven't seen her entrance. We haven't seen her wrestle. We haven't really seen her do much. This is good. They've kept her completely away from Sasha. And then bam. The next week, they just spoil it all. And they even put the title on the line. It was just like, wow. I thought a guy was going to come out and save Sasha Banks. The champagne guy didn't really seem to affect the match very much, because she was pissed. He didn't really seem to do much other than just distract her slightly and get her out of that submission. So yeah, what ended up happening here is the champagne dude. Sasha Banks had Carmella in the bank statement. Looked like she was about to tap out, and champagne dude just pulls Banks out of the ring, and she's livid. Like, you could just see it. She's pissed. She's like, you just opened a box that you shouldn't have opened, and now I'm just gonna beat the hell out of you. He ends up running away from her. Yada yada yada. Carmella and Banks start going at it again, and Banks just starts stomping Carmella in the corner so much that the ref just calls off the match. Champagne dude looked like The Weeknd. Yeah, it kind of did. So it's just, they ran this back. They ended it in disqualification. And then, of course, after that, Carmella is the one that stands tall. She ends up beating up Banks, and she ends up smashing a champagne bottle over her back as well. And then the best part of the show, she shakes up one of the champagne bottles and like opens it, and it just like shoots everywhere, like all over Michael Cole and everything. She like aims right at him, I swear. Like, this is for saying it's boss time. Twice in one episode. Just bam, right all over the top of him. Good stuff. So yeah, that's how they ended SmackDown tonight. Pretty lackluster show. They didn't really do much that interests me at all. They kind of built towards TLC a little bit for things, but overall, man, I think they could have done a lot better. Especially last week, they had a good show. I didn't really have much negative things to say about the show last week, so this week, man, was just a whole other ball game. Like, they really just dropped the ball with this. I'm trying to look over everything here. It looks like I'm going to go ahead and say Roman and Kevin Owens was the best stuff for the night. Best stuff of the night, match of the night, even match of the night. I guess for match, I guess I would have to go with Sami Zayn and Big E, even though it ended terribly. But I think that's the match I enjoyed the most tonight. Even though there was only 5 matches tonight. But I don't know. I feel like Damian Priest is what Corbin could be. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even though they're not really doing Priest justice on NXT right now. Just lost the NXT North American Championship without really having a good reign. And now he's about to get dunked on by Karrion Kross, it sounds like. So, like Moxley and Jericho with the champagne bottle. Yep. I saw a lot of people saying a little bit of the bubbly. So that was interesting. Bianca was the highlight when she came out with those receipts. That was a good part. I enjoyed that. But yeah, man, overall, very subpar show. It was not good at all. Not good. I did not enjoy it. But hey, at least we've been here for about 2 hours chatting. It was a lot of fun. I do appreciate you guys sticking by and held on to people a lot longer. A lot longer tonight. It dipped down a lot after Dynamite going on like an hour and 40 minutes. So I do appreciate all of you sticking by and chatting. I really do appreciate it. Is Priest getting punished for something? I don't think so. I think it just, you have that point where like some people are going to have to take some L's for a little bit. And I think it's going to be him. Hopefully, I'm at least hoping that him and Cross have a match. It should be a good one too. Maybe at New Year's Eve. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused at what they're going to do with that. Maybe they'll have a match just on regular NXT, and then Karrion Kross will beat Finn on New Year's Evil for the NXT Championship. That's kind of what I'm rolling with. If I could get a Timothy Thatcher versus Cesaro for WrestleMania soon, I would love it. That'd be a good one. That'd be a real good one. I wouldn't mind that at all. Oh, Wendy. Yes. Yes. All right. Well, that's going to call it for me tonight. I did mention really quick before I go, I did mention the possibility of doing a Q&A session on Sunday. That is not going to happen. I will be gone at my fiance's parents' house on Sunday, so I will not be doing that, but I will be doing it next week. And with that said as well, I'll be working on another kind of show, but it won't be a live show. So I'll be working on that this weekend as well. And then, yeah, I guess I will see you guys for Raw on the post show. I'm not going to be watching Final Battle, and I probably don't even think I'm going to watch Impact. I might be like kind of not tuning in, but I'll be paying attention to Impact through social media to kind of see if anything happens. If anything happens, I'll definitely post it and let you guys know. If there's any sort of AEW interference or anything like that, I'll certainly be posting it. I'll be pissed if I missed it, but I don't want to watch the Impact show just for the sake of it, especially because I got to watch it on Tuesday again, because if you don't know, they have teased Kenny Omega they haven't teased, but they have announced that Kenny Omega will be on the show on Tuesday with Don Callis again. Glad I caught the end of the stream. Yeah, thank you, Chloe. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, dude. Great show, and good luck with your fiance. Thank you. We're just making dinner. We're just making dinner. That's all. Enjoy the stream. Take care. Thank you, Warrior. I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of the chat. Heard Kenny's going to be there. It's a possibility. Ashton says, thank you for the post show, man. Sucks I can only make Fridays, but oh well. No worries, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part of the chat. It means a lot. I really do appreciate it because, man, I got to get 4,000 watch hours. So we're in here for the long run. Thank you guys for tuning in, though. I will be here, like I said, on Monday for the Raw post show. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.